I remember about you gentlemen, you are not only not a stranger to Linda Evangelista, but you were fans, yes, in the 90s.
Yeah.
She was one of the hottest,
Arguably. Best eyes, right?
Best eyebrows. Oh, she had that little come hither. I know. I have a little
That's what I was
secret.
looking at. Yeah,
right.
Eyebrows.
She was with Christy Turlington, with Naomi Campbell and Cindy Crawford, all the greats. Anyway, we all love her. She claims that she's been deformed, and that's why we haven't seen her in a few years. She said she was undergoing a cosmetic procedure, not surgery, but a procedure that might sound familiar to some people, 5 years ago, according to Fox News. She was, of course, best known for just being smoking hot, totally disappeared. And then she has now written on her Facebook page what happened. She says, to my followers who have wondered why I've not been working while my peers' careers have been thriving, the reason is that I was brutally disfigured by Zeltia's cool sculpting procedure, which did the opposite of what it promised. Now, here's the thing. It's also known as
By the way,
body...
is anyone wondering why 57-year-old models aren't working?
Where's she been?
Yeah, nobody wonders that.
Where's the George Michael video?
You turned 37, and
You're out.
that was that. Yeah.
Well, Pete, especially in L.A., we've all heard of cool sculpting. We have a picture of her. There is a... Oh, look at that beauty in her day. So here's what she says happens. And apparently it really can happen. It's a non-surgical procedure. It's meant to take fat deposits and freeze them, and then it reduces them within the body, according to Healthline. But Evangelista claims she suffered a known but rare side effect that results in the opposite. Increased fat cells in the area where you're doing the procedure. Reportedly happens to men more than women and is found in less than 1% of total cool sculpting cases. She did mention a lawsuit, but didn't offer any details on it. But it literally backfired.
Wow. I have a question.
So pretty, though.
Because I know a little bit about fat cells and what goes on. She's saying that the fat cells that they cool sculpted, they got fatter?
That it had a reverse effect.
Because what happens to people when they have the, when they have the fat sucked out?
Lipo?
When that happens, you'll get fatter somewhere else. Because fat cells, we have all of the fat cells we're going to have by the time we reach puberty, right? So all of us have the capacity to have enough. If we max out all of our fat cells, we all have the capacity to stuff a couch. And we're seeing that with 600 and 800 pound people now, right? So if you take all of the fat cells from around your rib cage and your waist and everything else, whenever you start eating stuff that will cause you to get fat, you will just send those molecules into other cells. Our fat cells work like a bank account. Fat is going in and coming out every day. We don't gain and lose fat cells. We fill them or we empty them.
Yeah, they expand or contract.
Right. So if you remove some of them, they have to go. That's why you'll see a lot of people who, and her face was fat. So I'm not sure if this matters to her, but if you take them out of your ass, your hips, your midsection, it's got to go somewhere. It'll go to your face, your shoulders, the backs of your arms.
Why do so many people do it?
Because they're idiots.
Well, remember what happened to Kathy Griffin?
I mean,
it was botched. Her lipo was totally botched.
Oh,
remember that?
No, but
you don't want to
maybe,
see it.
But I don't know.
You do not want to see it.
Look, no free lunches, everybody. Yeah. Get some exercise. Don't eat Impossible burgers.
Don't eat free lunches.
Yeah.
That's true.
Good point. No free lunches, right?
Yeah.
No, and also you got to age at some point.
Well, and it's been explained, at least on these, layman YouTube stuff for the rest of us, that, like you said, each cell, you think of like a balloon, a water balloon. And when you start going keto, instead of fat, it goes, we know they're going to get fat again. Let's put water in it. Let's keep it this size because we know they're going to bounce back. But when you keep starving it, the balloon pops. And that's kind of again, layman for us understanding how that works.
And I'll tell you this, and women will understand this more than guys. Every woman has her skinny jeans, the ones that fit when she's feeling skinny.
Wearing them.
And every woman has their FME pumps that they wear. And they'll put the FME pumps in the skinny jeans and go out with the girlfriends. And they'll get that first margarita, right?
Party.
3 sips into the margarita, and they'll say, well, what the hell just happened? I have muffin top. My jeans are tight. Guys don't get this because guys put on their eating clothes, right?
That's right.
Stretching.
I've been in the get weight off of women business for 40 years. They'll go, well, what is that?
Why don't you just roll over?
Exactly.
You really want to get the weight off? I got 170 pounds of guinea I could lose, but if you just fucking roll over and blow a butt.
But what's happening to them is, as soon as the brain gets that, it tells the fat cells to start hanging on to water right away. And they feel instant that their fuck me pumps become tight, their pants become tight. I know you've had that before because it happens to every woman.
Very familiar.
When they go out for free drinks or whatever.
Well.
Yeah.
Literally, it's interesting. I wrote about this in my book somewhere, one of them, but
Rolling
it's
over?
like the sweatsuit, like the velour sweatsuits, the sort of bouncer who just looks like he's 600 pounds, or the record producer or something who's constantly wearing the big sweatsuit. Back in the day, when folks put a suit on to fly, put a suit on to go to the ballpark, put a suit on to go to work, you think about it. Gina's wedding's coming up. We got you'll be putting a suit on. We got to bring back the inner button flap that there's no reason for that.
Those
for that
suits
extra
tell no
button, except for to
tales.
let you know you put on a few pounds.
Yes.
You literally have to take your fingers and shove them inside of your waist and try to get that one hooked up. And when you do that, you have that thought of like, oh boy, I got to take it easy on the whatever.
Yeah.
Jump in the sweatpants, jump in the trunks, whatever.
You
the
don't
elastic,
notice.
you just don't. Literally, you don't feel that pinch. And how big a difference would it make if everyone got into a suit and went to work every day?
Regularly.
Yeah.
It never runs away from you. It can't get that far down the road because you may party pretty good on the weekend, and then come Monday, it's time
luck.
to get those slacks
I blame
and get
Sansa belt.
That's right, Sansa belt slacks.
Yeah, they came out and said, do you even know what we're talking
what
about?
is that?
Sans a belt.
It was no.
Oh, I don't know. Is
had-
that Sans?
I mean,
It was
Like
dress
minus
pants.
Right.
save the belt?
let's
Yeah,
see.
but you wore a belt around it anyway as an accessory. But it was like a big. It expanded at the waist.
Really?
Right. So
was
you
it
just-
what's the word? Like a spandex or
No.
It was kind of like
I think Sansa belt slacks. Now, I can only go off of what I've seen on game shows because my dad didn't purchase slacks, and I certainly didn't own any. But I think I think they buttoned up by having a flap that extended like to the right
Extendo
3 or
flap.
4
On both
inches.
Yes,
sides,
you're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And hooked around, right?
Yeah.
That's I would say Sansa belt slacks. Some of the game shows, they were like sponsors and stuff, and was always like a Bob Barker wardrobe by Botany 500. That was the other one, Botany 500.
Can I say this? Flying in yesterday, I feel like a comedian talking about my flight twice now. I think I'm the only guy that had a belt on, a button-down shirt, and actual real pants on, and real shoes.
People probably thought you were the pilot.
I thought you were an air marshal.
Yeah, they must have looked at me. I was like, wait a minute. I think I'm the only guy with a belt.
Yeah.
I'm the only one with the
What are you
button-down
doing here,
shirt.
narc?
Yeah, I felt like a total square, as we used to say when I was a kid. It's like,
I was talking about it on stage last night, but I've probably mentioned it on stage before. But when I go through LAX frequently through the Delta terminal at 6:30, 7:15, like early morning, big LAX Delta terminal flights. You walk through there, people are wearing like surgical scrubs and cut off sweats and big billowy ponchos and stuff. I mean, I said, and I mean it because I've seen this a couple times. I said, you go to a hotel, a big hotel, someone pulls the fire alarm at 4 a.m., file down to the lobby. That's how people are dressed at LAX. Like they literally look like it's the shit they slept in. It's the biggest, billowiest. There's not peg leg or even a Sansa belt in the fucking mix. And then the other thing that you'd probably hate, which was I marveled at it. I don't know if I told you, Chris, but I actually took a picture of it. You don't have to find it. But there's a Jersey Mike's that's right at the end toward the Delta end of the terminal. 7:14 in the morning, the line at
boy.
Jersey Mike's
What do you get there?
had
Sandwiches.
55 people in it.
Breakfast sandwiches?
No, they're going hoagie, but
Really?
to be fair to them,
They may be coming from.
it may be 7:10 in the morning. They're going to eat it at 9 when they're on the flight.
Sure, okay.
But I mean, 55 people.
Wow.
I mean, at Jersey Mike's, just a line just going around the airport at, again, 7 a.m. So
I
you
felt
mix
like,
that in with the sweatpants with the unlimited elastic, and that's what we got, a recipe.
It's like they're at home. I was the only guy, I think, getting on the plane that didn't have a pizza box or a hoagie or something in my hand at all, period.
I think since we're mandating all these things, we have to start saying you cannot bring hot food on a plane. The smell is either it's really good or really bad.
It
yeah,
was not.
I'm the same way.
It's like, come on, guys, just eat this crap and get on the plane. But then if they ate it and they're farting on the plane, it's a problem. Either way, it's a problem.
Well, Adam, remind him of your rookie cop bulletproof vest.
Oh.
This will keep everyone trim.
Well, look, everyone's getting fat. Cops are getting fat. You know, you turn on the news. It's not, the story isn't about them being fat. It's they're investigating the crime scene. They're fucking huge. So, and by the way, once they get behind the desk, they really blow up because all those 48 hours crime scene, whatever, when they interview those guys, they got heads the size of a pumpkin. But here's the deal. Your rookie year, 23, 24, right out of the academy, whatever, you are issued a bulletproof vest. That is your vest. It's a medium. That's it.
You'll
You
retire with that vest.
You want to balloon up to 300 pounds? Fine. It's your fat ass that's going to be hanging outside that vest. It's going to get its shot. But that's it.
on
This
you.
is your vest. We're not going to add a leaf to it.
Gina, close your ears for a second.
Okay.
I've said the same thing about marriage.
Oh, I got my
wedding
wedding
dress.
dress there. Yeah.
Same thing.
Gina, you know my deal, right?
I
What are the
do.
2 things you can't do after you get married,
Get
according
fat
to me?
and cut your hair.
Thank you.
That's right.
It's not a license to go chop your hair off.
I was going to get a
And get
curly
fat.
cut. Okay.
Okay, you look awesome right now.
Thank
Keep
you.
it going.
Okay.
That's right.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
Well, let's move on to another hot lady. Maybe a decade before Linda Evangelista, a decade and a half, 2 decades.
Vinny,
I'm
I feel
yes.
like somewhere there may be some kids on your lawn, and I don't know if you've put someone in charge of taking the hose and
Yeah.
yelling at them.
You got to
but
pump the shotgun.
who's keeping that flame
Can I tell you
torch
something?
alive?
I in the past week, I've killed 2 copperheads.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one was in my backyard. I did it with a shotgun. I got his head moving at 1,200 feet per second. And then the second one, I'm taking my dog out the front to go for a walk. My dog walks right up on another copperhead. So now I got the dilemma. Do I walk back in and get the shotgun? Or do... So
Hand-to-hand combat.
I went to my neighbor and I said, hold my dog, hand me a shovel. So I went over
I love that song.
and did it with the shovel.
Yeah, it's a great country song.
I'm teaching all the kids in the neighborhood how to use guns. I'm teaching them how to do...
Jesus.
Why not? I'm teaching them,
responsibly.
I'm teaching them archery.
Yeah.
They come in the backyard.
It's like taking on liability that I wouldn't want to take on.
I asked their parents, like, they all come over to swim. That's a danger.
That's
I
true.
don't use my pool.
Yeah.
I got the only pool in the neighborhood. I feel like an asshole. I got to put the stuff in it. I got to get the guy over. I got to unwinterize. I got to winterize it. I got to do all this stuff. I don't even swim in that kind of pool. I go down to the Y and go in the pool where I can do some laps. Right? I would be turning every third stroke in my own pool. So I told all the neighborhood kids, I went around and said, listen, you get a parent over here, you guys can, you have my backyard. The last thing I want them to get is bitten by a copperhead in my backyard. So I'm protecting the neighborhood.
Wow.
Good for you.
Boy, I got to tell you, I do like the variety in my personal life because when I was at Jimmy's daughter's wedding just last weekend, I was sitting down talking with we'll call her a family friend, and she was saying, I haven't seen you since the kid's birthday party. And I said, oh, yeah, when was that? And she said, well, another friend, family member, came over to the house and was explaining to Sonny, showing Sonny how to break down a pistol, how to like take it apart and oil it and put it back together and everything. And she said, it was unloaded, obviously, but I had to leave.
Oh, she had to leave?
She had to leave. I said, by the way, it's weird when people are cowards and insane and they sort of brag about it. Like she told me the story twice. She told me she couldn't be around it. And I was like, well, it's in the house. This person's trained and they're showing them how to do this unlocked thing, unloaded thing. It's a sort of practical.
No, there's nothing in it.
And she's like, I left.
Oh, boy.
Wow. It's like, all right. But
Gotta
it's
get
good to
Uncle
have
Vinny
Vinny
over.
balance it out with literally hunting game in his own backyard.
Hunting children.
Yeah, there's some deer in my backyard too, but I think
anymore.
it's illegal. I think
right.
it's illegal. It's not even the season yet. Mm-hmm. But
Are you going to get the tags or whatever?
Yeah, you got. Yeah, I'm not an animal.
But I mean, are you into it? Are you going to do it?
Yeah, I grew up hunting. I grew
know.
up hunting and fishing and everything, and I believe in conservation. People don't realize Ducks Unlimited have done more to help ducks than anything else. In conservation, I don't think people realize how much hunters help conservation. I mean, now you can't shoot lead over water because now you have lead in the water.
Oh, sure.
Right.
So it's all steel shot. England has gone to that too.
Wow.
I'm going to be hunting in England in January. They call it shooting there.
I would so love for you to be really good friends with the Motor City Madman and help run his camps in the summer.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
I know you would.
I mean, I love that guy. By the way, Adam, you would remember this. Maybe Dawson would remember it too. Remember when he used to do his stage shows back in the 70s? He had the loincloth, and he would
liked him because
his guitar.
Bullshit.
he would shoot the arrow on stage. Right, Dawson?
Oh, he'd be in
Didn't
a
he shoot his guitar too?
He'd be in a loincloth,
Yeah.
swinging back and forth like Tarzan.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
It was amazing. He was in great
was
shape
crazy.
too.
All right. What else we
Okay,
got, Gina
so
Grant?
another lovely lady from the past, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, Cassandra Peterson. She now has a new memoir, and boy, the revelations are aplenty.
She must have fucked everybody.
Well, I think that's part of it. It's called Yours Cruelly, Elvira, Memoirs of the Mistress of the Dark. So I'm going to give you two of her revelations. One is that late NBA star Wilt Chamberlain allegedly sexually assaulted her. She said in an excerpt obtained by Daily Mail, Peterson said that he was 7'1", about 300 pounds, would wrap his hand around her neck and force her to give him oral. And she thinks that big count of him sleeping with all these ladies, maybe not as consensual given her experience. She also said sexually, she claimed she bit the lip of Andy Williams when he tried to kiss her without consent. And another time she went to the hospital after sustaining injury while having sex with Tom Jones.
Wow. What's up, Pussy Snatch?
That's right.
It's not unusual. It's not unusual.
Well done. She's a lady.
She was a groundling.
What?
I'm pretty
Was
sure
that, did
Cassandra.
that character come out of the Groundlings?
I probably did. Yeah, it was like a Pee Wee,
love
like Pee Wee
that.
Herman.
That makes sense.
Came out
I
of the groundlings.
love that. Well, I do remember her movie fondly, Mistress of the Dark, but also she's not into the menfolk anymore. Her other revelation is
After
that
experience the wilt.
she's been in a relationship for 19 years with a woman she met at Gold's Gym in Hollywood. She said she was attracted to the trainer's dark and brooding looks, didn't realize she was a woman until they, I guess, met in the bathroom or something. And she's just maybe more of a masculine woman, and they've been together for almost 20 years.
Well, I hope I don't go down that path where I don't realize someone's sex until we
Unless
actually
it's a pleasant surprise.
consummate it. Yeah. Yeah, she's part of the Groundlings in 1979.
I love that.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought that was sort of common
I don't
knowledge,
know.
but she
I never
slid
thought about
by.
it.
Pee Wee Herman gets all the
Right.
fuss, but she was
Sure.
there.
great.
Probably
Cool.
pre
Same-ish
Pee Wee,
time.
same-ish time. Yeah.
I love that. Thank
Hey,
you.
As long as we're talking about beautiful women, Vinny's in the studio, for God's sake. We'd be remiss. Your wedding, Gina, is coming up in just a few days. By the time people hear this, it'll be on our doorstep. You're looking great, if I may
Thank
say
you.
so. I know Vinny has been helping you. Can we talk a little bit about the routine and what's been going on?
Yeah,
'Cause you're looking good.
Thank you. Stop fucking around a lot. Seriously, my skin, because when I eat gluten and I'm eating all that stuff, my skin gets really dry. I have eczema all over me, and then I have to deal with creams and stuff for that. Nothing. clear as a bell, just meat and vegetables. I personally, being a JE dub, I can't do dairy. I can't lose weight on it. It fucks up my stomach. And Vinny pointed that out to me a long time ago, and I chose not to listen because I love dairy.
Yeah.
But it really makes a big difference. Vegetables and meat, and I've been doing it since April, and I've lost 22 pounds. And I know it might not look like it, but things fit differently. My face feels different. When I'm putting on a lot of weight, I never knew this, but this might sound insane, but the only way I can really tell is out of the corner of my eyes, I can see the top of my cheeks, if that makes any sense. And I can't right now. So I'm very happy about that. So I really got honest with myself. I wasn't cheating. I wasn't negotiating every meal. Well, this won't be a thing. And walk every day because I like to get out of the house anyway. 3 to 6 miles and just kind of, just keep
3 to 6 every day.
I like it because in my neighborhood, it's once you cross the street, it's gorgeous and utopia, not on my side. But I'll either do it once or twice. That's 3 or 6 miles. And I feel great afterwards. And the more I exercise, the less hungry I am. And I don't know if that's a normal thing, but I don't really feel like eating a lot of dinner after I'm sweaty and come home. I'm good. Also, I do not.
I think there's also an element of not wanting to take a shit after you get out of the shower. Which is to say, when you are doing pretty good, you're exercising and stuff, you don't want to undo it.
No, you're right.
You have that, it's kind of partially emotional.
I think you're right, but we eat early now.
Shit in the shower. Go ahead.
Exactly. We eat early because I'm done eating all my meals by 6:30 in the evening, and I brush my teeth, and no more snacking, no more food throughout the night. I'm good. But Andy prefers to eat dinner and then go run, sit for a few minutes and then run. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. He prefers to do a marathon run, come home, eat a big dinner. I want to eat dinner, go on my walk, come home, and relax. So I've just been tightening everything up and just being more honest with myself.
That's very Italian of you, because Italians do it. They eat and then they go for the big walk.
Yeah, it's been lovely.
My great-grandparents, they all used to do it. That's how I got into it.
And a big thing I have, I love my Facebook groups, my kitten rescues and my curly and wavy hair and all that shit. I got out of all of the weight loss groups because that was actually making things harder.
Interesting.
Because all these bitches are like, you guys, is 35 pounds good for a week and a half? I don't know. And I don't lose that fast. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if it's clickbait. And all these, women being yeah, is 14 pounds good by a Wednesday to a Sunday? I've lost about 22 pounds since April 1st, and that is as fast as I can lose it, as fast as I'm willing to lose it.
I'm starting to hate the term keto as much as I hate the term vegan.
I get it.
Because they've turned keto into that. That's why I've never been able to sell NSNG. I've been offered a lot of monny.
Because it's going to happen.
7 figures for my brand. And I refuse to let anyone take it because they'll take it and bastardize it.
Yeah.
Do you weigh yourself how often?
Vinny's here. Not often. Maybe
too
once
often. I don't want her to weigh herself, but she weighs herself.
I don't do it every day anymore. I'll do it a couple times a week.
Well, but how would you know you're 22 pounds down, or does it matter?
Also, I have
Vinny, is it just do it and you look better and
look in the mirror?
Yeah.
Look at the belt loops.
Well, also,
if you wear a belt in this world,
I have a tape measure, and so I can see where I'm losing and stuff. The thing is, I really didn't think I was losing in my stomach at all because that's where my body has decided the weight gets to live for the rest of my life. But I've lost a little. No loss in my boobs.
Thank God.
No. Stop clapping, Dawson. I thought at least everything will kind of streamline. No.
Finally, a diet that works.
And I told you guys the other day, much to your chagrin, neither of you wanted to help or answer, but I asked, how much do you think one of my boobs weighs? Because I don't think boob weight... Yes.
Oh, Vinny, easy.
Vinny knows.
I told Andy,
going to find out.
I told Andy at home we have 2 pound, 3 pound, 5 pound, 10, 20, all the weights. Hold one and hold my boob and see if it's the same because that weight should not count towards scale weight.
Daddy?
That's not fair.
Gina, you're going to go back on the weight loss site and go, why is it my waist is so small and my tits are twice as big?
Right?
Yeah, see, they're going to hate that. Hey, I feel the same way about my nutsack. Why we got to factor in my prodigious nutsack? It's not fair.
You shouldn't have to.
It's
is what I'm saying.
unfair.
It's un-American.
if I were 80 years old and overweight and diabetic and hadn't had COVID already, I'd be like, yep, straight up, like, this makes sense. But if you're 18 and in fantastic shape, let alone have already had it and recovered and got the antibodies, then it's a whole different equation. And I just honestly wish people could chill out a moment and just respect that, as we always did.